and nothing is happening. Also does not charge in a case. Gonna put it on the right side. Yep, charges on the right side, no problem. Through a case. Hey everyone, so today we're taking a look at the Jeda wireless charging pad V2. So this is for Tesla Model 3s and Model Ys. It's a wireless phone charger. It goes in the center console. So if you have a newer Model 3 or Model Y, this doesn't mean anything to you. You already have a wireless phone charger and I'm very jealous. But for the older ones, we don't have it. So we have to replace that center console piece with this to get wireless phone charging. So starting with the box, let's just get this thing open. Nothing much to look at on the outside, but that's your charging pad there. It's got a nice kind of red back, which is pretty cool. It has two micro USB ports here. If you can see on the camera, I'm not sure if you can, but there is a P on the left. It says P here on the bottom. And then on the right, there's a PL on this side. So P stands for portrait, L stands for landscape. So this port here on the right will supply power for both the portrait and landscape orientation. So what does that mean? So on the front, this is the front of the pad, there's three charging coils basically. There's one on this side, one on this side for portrait, and then you can put one down here. You can put your phone down here for landscape. So obviously if you have your phone in landscape, you're not going to be able to charge two phones. So that's what that PNL stands for. So on the front, it's got like this nice, I guess, felt kind of finish, which is pretty good. I have the previous version, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'll compare the two. But yeah, basically this goes into the center console. These four rubber feet fit into the existing points, and then it basically just sits there. And then you feed the wire through and plug this in, and it should start charging your phone. So this V4 pad has MagSafe, so there's magnets in the two portrait locations and also in the landscape location down here. Let me grab an iPhone. Okay, so I happen to find an iPhone just at home here. So this is the iPhone 12. It has MagSafe. If you place it on the mat, it will basically magnetize there and it will kind of stay there, which is pretty cool. It means that your charger will be aligned with your phone, kind of, it doesn't matter how you put it, it will kind of just magnetically sit there. If there was power, it would start charging. So same thing for the bottom here. I guess too much of an angle, but yeah, there is some, yeah, the magnet's not super strong, but it's enough to put it in the right position and then it will start charging the phone. So what else is in the box? So besides the pad itself, there's also three cables that come in the box. The first cable that I find very interesting is a USB-C to USB micro cable. So C to micro, I think it's pretty rare. It's pretty cool that they include this in the box. The other two cables that you get is the standard USB-A to micro USB. So I'm guessing these are the ones that you would use to plug your charging pad into the car. So right now my older Model 3 has two USB-A ports under the center console, and then these cables would plug into that, and then the micro plug down here would plug into the bottom of the pad here. So on the bottom of this box there is also this, I think it's called a spacer, but basically you can, instead of using wireless charging, you could put this on the bottom part of the charging section or the charging area in your car for the phone, and then you can actually route a cable through this and then just do wired charging. So you can basically have the pad like so, and this will expose connectors here, and then you can just put your phone in and then plug the phone in and have it charge wired instead. So I'm going to grab the older one just to compare this V4 with the previous generation. Okay, so I went to the car, I grabbed the old one out of the car. So on the right here is the old one. This is a rubberized finish. As you can probably see, it's kind of all scratched up in the middle. On the surface, there's kind of scratch marks all over it. This is just from me like picking up the phone and like your nails basically scratching this, and it scuffs, I guess, relatively easy. It does look pretty bad and pretty worn after 2 years of using this every day. It still has the same two portrait locations for wireless charging and then the same landscape position down here. It doesn't come with the spacer. It does have two holes for you to feed cables in, but it doesn't have the spacer that keeps the cables in place so that you can kind of put the phone in and then plug it in straight away. The V4 does come with the spacer. So I think overall the V4 has a better design. I think this felt would age a little bit better. I don't think it'll get scratched as much. I think because it has a rough looking surface already, like your fingernails won't really make any difference here. So I think we'll hop down to the car and see if they work. Okay, so in the car now, so this is what it looks like when you remove the plastic mat which sits on top of this plate here. If you have an older Model 3, this is what it looks like. For the newer ones, you probably won't have this, but the 4 rubber feet on the back of the charging pad fit into these 4 holes here. The first thing you want to do is obviously route the cables through the 2 holes here. It just goes straight through like this, and basically there are 2 USB-A ports in here. I have the hub, the Jeda hub. If you don't have the hub, then you just see 2 ports. For me, I'll be using the 2 ports on the left, basically plugging these cables in. But you don't want to plug them in first. You want to plug these cables into the pad first. Otherwise, you don't have enough cable to see what you're doing. So yeah, plug in the pad first and then plug in the bottom ones later. So let me do that and we'll see if it works. So this is the new one. I'm just going to plug it into the back here. First one and the second one. And then once it's in, basically you just kind of push it in. Okay, so that's in. I'm going to plug in the cables down there. Okay, plugged in. They should be working now. So let me start with the iPhone, because it does have MagSafe. So it's iPhone 12. Plop it in there. And yep, it's charging. Pretty cool. And on the right. And yep, it's already charging. The icon up there already says charging, which is great. And then the bottom. Yeah, I think it's still charging. I don't think it reacts that quickly, but yes, the charging icon is there, so it is charging. Let me see what other phones I have. Okay, so I also have a Pixel 6 Pro, and yeah, it's charging on the right side. Let's take that off. It stopped charging now. Put it on the left side, and nothing is happening. Can't charge on the left. Disappointing. Now put on the bottom landscape here. Also does not charge on the landscape. So yeah, that's disappointing. So I guess if you have a, I don't know, a larger Android phone, it might not work. At least for the Pixel 6 Pro, it's not working. So yeah, only works on the right side. Very disappointing. Yeah, but if you have an iPhone, then I guess no problems at all. The MagSafe works pretty well. I only have the smaller 12 here. I don't have a larger one, so maybe the larger one won't work. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's all I can test at the moment. Maybe I'll hook up the cable down here and see how that works. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is actually remove this piece down here. You just have to push to the left and then it will just slide off. And then, now I know why it's called a spacer, because all this does is it adds additional, I guess, height, and then this piece goes on top of it again, like this. Hope it's in focus. So I guess the first thing you want to do is put the spacer piece in. Actually, no, you probably want to put the cables in, but before I do that, I'll just show you how it works. You basically position this on top and you slide it in, just like how the original piece went on top. And then you get the original piece and you slide that on top of that. And then it should click in place. So now it's like, whoa, it's like super thick. It's like, it's increased the height. That allows space for the cable to go through here and then go up here. Okay, so I realized you need special L-shaped cables for this to work. Basically, the charging cable comes up through the same hole and then gets fed through this channel. And at the bottom here, it makes a 90-degree turn. You need an L-shaped connector down here. A regular cable simply can't make that turn, so it's not going to work. So if you want to use a spacer for its intended purpose, you know, to route a cable, then you get those special cables. So instead of doing that, I'm going to compare this with the old one. So because this doesn't charge my phone, or one of my phones, on the left and the bottom here. So Pixel 6 doesn't charge, Pixel 6 Pro doesn't charge on the left or the landscape. So I'm going to see how the old one performs. Okay, the old one is back. Let's try the 6 Pro. So it's charging on the right. Let's try the left. Nothing on the left. Try the landscape part down here. Nothing there either. So it looks like the old one is just as bad as the new one. I thought the new one would be improved, but it looks like it's not. So the new one performs the same as the old one. Okay, so only one side is working. So I guess you have a bigger phone, then, you know, I don't think either of these pads work for you. Yeah, okay, let's try with the case. Okay, I've chucked on a case. This is just the official Google or whatever Pixel 6 case. Put that on. Nothing on the right. Nothing on the left. Nothing down here. Okay, so the new charger is back in. Pixel 6 Pro in a case. Gonna put it on the right side. Yep, charges on the right side, no problem. Through a case, which is better than the previous one, which is great. On the left, obviously it does not work. I mean, it didn't work without a case. I don't see why it would work with a case. So on the bottom also doesn't work. So I guess I would probably keep the new one. At least I have one side that works with my large phone with a case. I was hoping that the new one would just work for all the phones. That's why I bought it. So I bought both myself. Nothing was, nothing is sponsored. They didn't send me anything. So I guess I'll keep the new one. The iPhone, if you have an iPhone, obviously no problems. MagSafe will just align it and then make it work, which is great. For the small one, not sure for the big one. So yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend either of these, disappointingly. I paid a lot of money for these. So if you have a better wireless charger, please recommend me in the comments. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.